BORTLE here, back from the remote Duel YCS, the first one ever. We have here a special guest today, folks, the BLADEYGO with his top 16 deck profile. What's up, man? How are you?
Nothing much. Doing good, Kevin. I just finished up the remote dual YCS on my end. They're still playing out top 4 right now. I got top 16, so I'm feeling pretty good. I'm also playing this really cool, very spectacular Drytron deck. So yeah. Yeah, I decided to play Drytron. I think it's the highest ceiling deck, and in that sense, I think it's resilient enough and very powerful. Its engine alone, which I think is very important in this format. That's when you know you have a really good deck on your hands, because when you're playing a deck like Tri Brigade, for example, sure you have a ton of hand traps, but and you have like one card plays and everything, where this is a 2-card combo deck. Drytron can break boards with like, if you draw a handful of engine, that's great. If you draw a handful of engine in Tri Brigade, for example, then it's not going to be nearly as powerful. So that's why I went with Drytron. I just think it's the highest ceiling, and its engine being so powerful means that I can get away with a more consistent deck overall.
Perfect explanation there, man. And before we start the actual deck profile portion of this video, would you like to do some shoutouts?
Yeah, totally. So I have 3 main shout outs. The first one is I'm a part of as of a few weeks ago, I'm officially on the luxury gaming team. They're members, and yeah, make sure the Facebook group and their website that's now out. It's they are the ones that host the LCSs, and they're just awesome people. Shout outs to my friends from Pasadena. We have a group called Endgame, which is just like a bunch of us friends and everything in the area. Yeah, they've always had my back, so gotta shout them out, of course. And shout out to TMW. I'm not gonna name anyone in specific because it would take all day, but you know who you are. So yeah, that's about it for my shout outs.
Sweet. And yes, you do know who you are, folks. So, yeah, please, without further ado, take it away with the rest of the deck profile.
All right, so let's start off with the main deck. So first off, we got the Drytron monsters: 3 Alpha, 3 Zeta, 2 Gamma, 2 Delta. In the future, I guess I can show this off now. I also play 3 Nova, 3 Emergency, 2 Fafnir, 1 Foolish. So this is my Drytron lineup. I think optimally you play 19 Drytrons, because that gives you the best chance of seeing 2 Drytrons, which is a 75% chance to draw 2 Drytrons, which is really good. And then post side, because these are the worst of them. And then after you like side those out, you have 16 Drytrons, which means going second, you still have a 75% chance, even with the 3 copies gone, to open 2 Drytrons. So you want to see 2 Drytrons every time, and this percentage gave you the best likelihood. The only one I'm gonna cut is Foolish. This should have just been a 3rd Gamma, to be honest. This card plays into everything, so I don't want to play it in the future. I think it's just like very non-resilient, whereas the rest of my deck is very resilient. So yeah. Then moving into the fairy package, we got 3 Diviner, 3 Orange Light, 2 Eva. Nothing too crazy here. Some people play 1 Eva. I personally play 2 because I don't play Dragoon. Before the tournament started, I had the option of playing Dragoon because I knew about it beforehand, but I didn't test with it at all, so I just didn't feel comfortable with it. And when you don't play Dragoon, I feel like you should be playing 2 Eva, because it makes Beatrice Pass way more effective than what it is normally. Plus, it makes your turn 1 even stronger. And like, drawing it isn't the end of the world. You could just search Orange Light or make Mu Beta with it. So I wasn't having a problem with drawing it. For the rituals, Draconids. This is the best ritual, obviously. Not really, but you know. Draconids is amazing. It really does help you play through everything. You get rolled, no problem. I'll end on this plus the Xyz with the spell and trap negate. Stuff like that. I think this card is exceptional. It's also a light machine ritual, which means you can use it in order to ritual summon different things, which comes up. So yeah, definitely play this if you're not playing it. And the fairies, Idaten, Benten. Idaten helps you play through hand traps on your Diviner, which is really good, and helps you link climb. And then these 2 are standard. I don't play pre-prep. I think that card is really bad if you don't have access to Ben 10, and you may think, oh, but Blade, this entire deck is built around getting access to Ben 10. Yes, but you don't need Ben 10 to win technically. And they're going into a board, for example, it's very hard to get access to Ben 10 a lot of the times if you don't hard draw it or prep. Like OG prep. So I think playing pre-prep just makes your high rolls better. But it makes the games where you open it where if you open well, you'll do better with prep, but if you don't open well, it makes your hand worse. So I didn't feel like I needed it. And I played Natasha. It was good flexibility. The main thing is I play 5 Drytrons, so that way I can keep 5 rituals, so I can keep searching them throughout the game. But yeah, that's why I play Natasha. I didn't think there was anything really better to play, and it had its uses, so I wasn't complaining about it. Though I could see a world where I cut this, maybe for another ritual like Sarabis, maybe, or a second Idaten. But yeah, finally the rest of the spells, 3 prep. It's just more copies of Ben 10, especially because my deck's built for all gas, no breaks. Like I said at the beginning, my deck is built around the philosophy where I want my engine to break boards rather than needing hand traps to break boards. So that's why I think prep was superb for that. It makes your plays just way more resilient because you get access to Ben 10. One Medianus, this is a one of. Do not play 2 of this. The only person I'm going to mention in specific is Jib. I'm not going to say the F word, but forget you, Jib. This card is a one of. Dang it. Anyways, and then I play 3 tactics, 1 call by. Like I said, the point is all gas, no breaks, and these are the best cards to do so. This is also the most effective answer to, if you had access to 3 call by, you'd play 3 of it, but it's at 1. So tactics is really good though. This and Orange Light give you 6 outs to an Appaloosa game 1, and then post side it becomes a lot easier to deal with Appo. So yeah, so tactics was really good. And then yeah, so that was the main deck. Not like the craziest main deck, but definitely some spice here and there. So yeah.
Oh yeah, what was the main deck count, by the way?
Oh, it's a clean 40.
Nice.
I wanted to see Ben in the game, so we gotta. Oh god, yes, we got to play 40 cards. So yeah, and then moving on to the extra deck. We got 1 Ints, 2 Arclight. The extra deck's not like too crazy either. But I will say 2 Arclight's really good because it means your follow-up diviners actually do something instead of just pop a card. Like if you go turn 1 Arclight search for something, then having the second Arclight came up a ton for the follow-up turn. So yeah. I play Zeus, Beatrice, Downerd, double Mu Beta. This is the only flex spot, Lyrilusk. This card isn't necessary. I could have seen myself cut it in the future for something else. But it's all right. Like, I just played it for the situations where Mu Beta can't turn into a Zeus. And, like, I think it came up once or twice, but I don't know how necessary. Lynx, Boral Sword. This is just relevant because all the Drytrons are 2,000. So this plus, like, a Mu Beta Fafnir is game. Whereas Bortle Sword with... it is a game, whereas if this was like an access code, for example, this is not lethal, but Bortle Sword is lethal. So you know.
God, yes.
Also, obviously, we gotta rep Bortle here. You know, Bortle topped in spirit with this card, so you know,
I'll take it.
The huge. Hell yeah, no, but then we play Appo, Unicorn, Phoenix, IP, and Link Revo. You can technically cut Appaloosa, technically, especially if you're playing Dragoon, but, you know, I don't play Dragoon, so Appa's pretty nice. And then, finally, for the side deck, because I played all gas in the main deck, the one matchup where you really need hand traps is the mirror match, so I decided to main deck or side deck a ton of hand traps for when I do play the mirror. But I also wanted my hand traps to have flexibility when I know I'm going second. So in the end, I opted for 3 Nibiru. This was like so good all weekend, or like all 3 days of the tournament. 3 Droll. This is like not only a good card against Drytron, it's also good against Jadal and Vogue. So I think it had enough generic application. 2 Ash. I only play 2 because I only had space for 2. I also play 3 Imperm. I think this is one of the best hand traps right now. The fact that you can Imperm an Apollosa during their end phase is so good. Because you only are afraid of Apollosa in the Tri-Brigade matchup. Otherwise, like, it's pretty favorable for you. And then triple twin when reboot. This is the reason why I didn't have room for the third Ash. There's a world where you can cut a twin for a third Ash in case of like prank kids, I guess. But even then, I think twin's just better in that type of matchup. So 2 Ash like worked out fine. But yeah, that's the deck list. I think it was a very clean deck list. It wasn't like the craziest thing with the most text in the world. But I think the theory makes sense behind why I picked this deck, the way I built the deck. And overall, I just think the deck makes sense, basically, was like the biggest thing. And I personally think I had the best deck in the room. Not to sound like pretentious or anything, but it's just like if you enter a tournament, you want to make sure you feel as though you have the best deck in the room. And I genuinely think I did. I just got really unlucky in top 16. Pack opened triple hand traps plus a prank kid plus what was it, parallel exceed both games.
Oh
so
man, that's like Exodia for them.
Oh no, exactly. Like it happened both games too, so I couldn't really do anything about it. But it's all good. I'm happy Pack's doing well. I don't know if he's still in top 4 or if he advanced to the finals. We'll find out in retrospect, of course. But yeah, no, that's my deck.
Sweet, and thank you again for being on the channel, man.
No problemo. Always happy to be here.
And listeners, if you're not a part of BORTLE Nation, sub for BORTLE. It's that easy and it's free. Oh god, yes. BORTLE out.
Wow.